Good evening. This meeting of the Osseo School Board is being conducted in the boardroom at the Educational Service Center. The meeting can be monitored electronically by streaming online from the district website. An archived recording of tonight's meeting will also be available on the district website. As acting chair, I declare that the organizational meeting of the Independent School District 279 School Board is called to order at 6:00 p.m. on Tuesday, January 10th, 2023. Seated in front of you this evening from my left and your right are Sarah Mitchell, Heather Douglas, Thomas Brooks, myself, Jackie Mosqueda Jones, Tanya Simons, and Tamara Grady. Also present in the boardroom are Superintendent Corey McIntyre and General Counsel Tim Palmatier. Those of you who can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Director Simons, will you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next agenda item is the swearing in of elected members. Thomas Brooks, Tanya Simons, and Sarah Mitchell. Will you please join me in front of the board dais to take the oath? At this time, I will read a statement about the importance of this appointed position from the Minnesota School Boards Association. It is an honor that you were elected to guide the education of our community scholars. As you recite the oath of office, you assume a tremendous responsibility as a director of our school district with the duties empowered by the Minnesota legislature. This power puts you and other members of our school board in the position of being both morally and legally responsible for equitable, quality education of every scholar in this district. In carrying out this responsibility, you will be asked to fulfill the roles of vision, structure, accountability, and advocacy. In providing vision, the board, with participation of the community, envisions the community's educational future and then formulates the goals, defines the outcomes, and sets the course for the public schools. To achieve the vision, the board establishes a structure and creates an environment designed to ensure all scholars the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework. Because as a board we must be accountable to the community, we must ensure a continuous assessment of scholars' achievement and all conditions affecting the education of children. As board members, we serve as education's key advocate on behalf of scholars and our community schools to advance the vision of our schools. Furthermore, we must strive to work together with the superintendent and staff to lead the district toward fulfilling our mission, which is to inspire and prepare each and every scholar with the confidence, courage, and competence to achieve their dreams, contribute to community, and engage in a lifetime of learning. Will you please raise your right hand and recite the oath together?
Having signed the acceptance of office and oath of office, I hereby publicly affirm my commitment to the oath of office. I swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, and that I will discharge faithfully the duties of the office of school board member of Independent School District number 279 to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations. Okay, our next order of business is the acceptance of the agenda. Is there a motion to accept the agenda as printed?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Tamara, seconded by Heather Douglas. All right. Are there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right. The next order of business will be the election of officers. The process for officer nominations shall be as follows. Names are placed into nomination. Opportunity for the nominee and nominator to make statements. Then there will be a roll call vote. For the roll call vote, each member will state the name of the nominee they are voting for, and there will be no discussion. I need to take a little drink here. Nominations are now in order for the office of chairperson. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Tanya Simons.
Tanya Simons is nominated. Are there any further nominations?
I would also
nominate-
like to nominate Director Simons.
Tanya Simons is nominated. Are there any further nominations?
I nominate Jackie Mosqueda Jones.
Jackie Mosqueda Jones is nominated. Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations for chairperson? Are there any further nominations for chairperson? Without objection, nominations are closed. Tanya Simons and Jackie Mosqueda Jones have been nominated for chairperson. Would any nominators or nominees like to make a statement with respect for their nomination?
Do you want to go?
Yes. Just briefly, I'm nominating Jackie Mosqueda Jones as chair, or for chair. I very much enjoyed working alongside Jackie over the last couple of years, and value the insight, experience, and unique expertise she brings to our district. Jackie has recently served as our vice chair, closely with Superintendent McIntyre and his cabinet to drive and lead the work of this school board. Speaking of the superintendent, we know our highest priority as a governing body this year will be to find and hire the next superintendent. Jackie has now gone through at least 2 superintendent searches, both in ISD 279 and 287. And as we look forward to continue the strategic directions already in motion, I trust Jackie to bring her existing experience as a leader in our district, an experienced educator, including in our district, and a parent to continue forward with the work we've already set in motion. That's it.
Thank you. Any other nominators want to read or say something?
Yes, I would like to say something, please. So I have nominated Director Simons, and Director Simons has served as vice chair previously and continued to, even though she was no longer vice chair, to respond to and work in a manner consistent with vice chair role. She's consistently committed to, passionate, and shows up for board meetings. She shows up in the community and at events, the only member to consistently show up to our community engagement sessions of this board, including myself, for all of our Building Better Future work. As we move into searching for a new superintendent, I believe that Tanya will be a bridge builder as we work together. I know there's a lot of concern within the community and our staff that this board is divided. And I know that in all of the work that Tanya has done up to this point, she has continually been a voice of reason when we're at an impasse. She continually tries to find common ground where we can meet in the middle and build together to move forward. And I think that's exactly what we need right now. As a board, we need somebody who is willing to come with an unbiased perspective and look at all sides and allow every voice to be heard, which is what Tanya has consistently done throughout her time on the board, is making sure that all voices are heard. Even when she disagrees with those voices, And when she does agree with them, she's making sure that everybody has an opportunity to have their voices heard. In difficult decisions, she's making sure that there's common foundation and bringing forward our common ground. What is our goal? She continues to bring it back to a goal setting. And tying into the strategic directions that we have set forth. She's really profoundly good at doing that. And I think that's absolutely necessary for us as we move forward, especially as we move into a superintendent search. But as we continue this work that we've worked really hard to get to. She continually attends critical community forums, district events, but she's also doing other outreach. Tanya has developed relationships within our community and connected them with our superintendent to build better relationships and repair relationships that have been broken in the past by board members. And I think that's critical. It's absolutely necessary for us to build relationships with all community groups and bring them into the conversation. And Tanya's demonstrated that time and time again. So in summary, that's why I am voting for Tanya and nominating her.
Typically, we have one nominator statement per person, but Sarah, do you have something that you wanted to add?
Yes, thank you, Jackie. I would like to speak on why I'm nominating Director Simons to be our next chair. I believe Tanya is the best candidate to lead in this way due to her unique qualifications, background, her character, and her reputation in our community. Tanya is a true team player. Her history qualifications, she's earned her MBA from the University of Minnesota's Carlson School of Management. And Tanya is engaged in our community. She's consistently volunteering and representing our board in her district committee roles. Her commitments as the vice president of the Brooklyn Park Rotary Club, along with her involvement in the Maple Grove Lions Club. She's very connected in our community. Tanya's consistent character represents the kind of qualities we value in this district. Tanya is a person of integrity. She is fair, she is trustworthy, respectful, wise, and kind. Tanya does all things with excellence, and she is always thoroughly prepared. When Tanya speaks, she always has something productive and positive to say. As a parent of three students in this district, I have a child at each level of education. I have a unique vantage point in the community in relationships that give me the opportunity to listen and learn what our parents, community members, district leaders, teachers, and staff are desiring for the school board to represent. I've heard from parents, community members, and district leadership all the same thing, that Tanya is very well respected, she is fair, she is kind, she is trustworthy, and she always listens first. What I'm even more passionate about nominating Tanya is because she will serve and lead in a way as a role model for the students in our district, because we desire that students of all ages in this district will thrive, both academically and socially, treat one another with kindness and respect, and to become the next generation of leaders of integrity. And I believe that Tanya, as chair, would be that role model for our students and our student liaison representatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Mitchell. Director Simons, would you like to speak on your behalf?
Yes, thank you. The past 4 years have been an honor and an incredible experience in service. In being reelected this fall, I was both humbled by the encouragement of many and challenged to continue our work to drive excellence and positive change for the benefit of our scholars, teachers, staff, leaders, and community. My commitment to our future remains steadfast and focused to fulfill our common purpose in our mission and to ensure every scholar is prepared and confident to achieve their dreams and realize their unique individual potential and purpose. My passion for the work that we do is deeply rooted in my personal experience as a young person, seeing education as a pathway out of poverty and to support my family in the future. It is rooted in knowing that the doors that were open for me as a young person, through discovering my talent with sports and extracurriculars, learning my capability through being challenged in academic rigor, and seeing a career path, thanks to a youth business program, are the same type of doors that we must continue to open for each scholar. These are the doors that I seek to open as I serve in multiple volunteer and leadership roles across the community, both as an individual and as a representative of this board. As the second person in my family to attend college, behind my brother, who served as my role model, I know the sense of pride and empowerment that comes from achievement and the sense of gratitude for not only the sacrifices my parents made, but for those who walked alongside me as teachers, coaches, and mentors. This is what has driven me to serve young people in the same way and to focus on our work to build these capabilities in our scholars through our priorities and our values. Over the past 4 years, I have seen that it's not only what decisions the board makes that impacts scholars and the community, but it's also the way in which we work together, which has the power to divide or to unite our district. As a board member, I've brought my professional experience in change management, transformation, continuous improvement, and finance to the work we do. In our strategic work sessions and board decisions, I've sought consensus and focused on the outcomes our scholars deserve and that we are accountable to deliver. I've brought this skill set to drive specificity in the strategies we set, measures to our goals and initiatives, and a tangible vision for the future of our district, focused on creating a culture for both scholars and educators to thrive. As chair, I will ensure our work is always conducted transparently, focused on our mission and centered on our scholars. I will continue to ensure that all voices and perspectives are considered in key decisions, including better utilizing our advisory committees and listening sessions and recommending new avenues for input. I will continue to invite all board members to bring their best ideas forward to the work that we do together. My goal as chair will be to elevate how we work and make decisions, to create more opportunities for candid, constructive, and respectful conversations that are required today and tomorrow to achieve our strategic plan, to bring the values we've established to life at every level in our district, and to do what we're here to do, to serve the interests of our scholars and fulfill our mission every single day. Thank you, board members, and I ask for your consideration.
Thank you, Director Simons. I will now read my statement. Thank you for your nomination, Director Brooks. The last few years, school boards have had to navigate many unprecedented situations, often with competing priorities. During that time, I've served as vice chair and on the following committees: the District Parent Advisory Council, the Curriculum Instruction and Assessment Committee, Northwest Suburban Integration School District, Intermediate District 287, the Policy Committee, the District 279 Foundation, and the Enrollment Capacity Management and Advisory Council. In addition to these, I forged a relationship with the Coalition for Asian American Leaders. Our district has the second highest population of people who are Hmong and did not participate in this coalition with St. Paul and Minneapolis. And there are many other relationships I've developed to increase collaboration and to restore some lost trust in the district. I have been through 2 comprehensive superintendent searches and am facilitating the current superintendent search. I am committed to work with every single board member to hire a superintendent who is able and passionate about continuing our mission through the strategic plan that we all set forth together. I am the type of leader this district needs as we continue to move forward with our strategic plan. I have shown that I am a strong leader. I can make difficult decisions. Ultimately, in a people business, we need a leader who can lead with the heart, a relationship builder, someone who is approachable, and someone who will truly listen to all sides. My experience as a 30-year veteran in education across every demographic is an invaluable asset in making well-rounded decisions. I know how each decision will affect scholars from early childhood to adult basic education, how it can create barriers for a student demographic or open opportunities for a demographic. I am an active listener who is always ready to meet with parents, caregivers, and staff. I actively seek out voices that are not often heard to make sure that all voices are heard and considered when making decisions. We have amazing people in this district working to provide the best possible experience for each and every scholar. As a servant leader, I am committed to support our staff and scholars in our collective effort to achieve our mission to inspire and prepare each and every scholar with the confidence, courage, and competence to achieve their dreams, contribute to community, and engage in a lifetime of learning. Thank you, and I hope you consider me for your vote. board secretary will now call on each board member to state their choice as chair. When your name is called, please state, "I vote for," and then the name that you vote for. Sherry, will you please conduct the roll call, please?
Director Brooks?
I vote for Director Mosqueda Jones.
Director Douglas,
I vote for Director Tanya Simons.
Director Grady,
I vote for Director Mosqueda Jones.
Director Mitchell,
I vote for Director Tanya Simons.
Director Mosqueda Jones,
I vote for Director Jackie Mosqueda Jones.
Director Simons.
I vote for Director Tanya Simons.
It's 3 votes for Jackie Mosqueda Jones, 3 votes for Tanya Simons. It's a tie vote.
Consistent with MSBA guidelines, in the event of a tie between 2 candidates, a second vote should be taken, followed by a third vote prior to the close of the meeting, if necessary. We will now conduct a second vote on the office of chairperson. Nominated for chairperson are Tanya Simons and Jackie Mosqueda Jones. Board members, when your name is called, please state again, "I vote for," and the person that you vote for this time. Sherry, please conduct the second roll call vote.
Director Mosqueda Jones,
I vote for Director Jackie Mosqueda Jones.
Director Mitchell,
I vote for Director Tanya Simons.
Director Simons,
I vote for Director Tanya Simons.
Director Douglas,
I vote for Director Tanya Simons.
Director Grady,
I vote for Director Jackie Mosqueda Jones.
Director Brooks.
I vote for Director Mosqueda Jones.
3 votes for Jackie Mosqueda Jones and 3 votes for Tanya Simons, tie vote.
Okay, at this time, we are going to move to the election of board vice chair. At the end of the meeting, there will be a third vote for chairperson. Nominations are now in order for the office of board vice chair. Are there any nominations for board vice chair?
I nominate Jackie Mosqueda Jones.
Are there any other nominations for board vice chair?
I vote I nominate Director Heather Douglas.
Heather Douglas has been nominated and Jackie Mosqueda Jones have been nominated. Are there any further nominations?
I would also like to nominate Director Douglas.
Are there any further nominations for vice chair? Are there any further nominations for vice chair? Without objection, nominations are closed. Director Heather Douglas and Director Jackie Mosqueda Jones have been nominated for vice chair. Would any nominators or nominees like to make a statement with respect to their nomination?
Yes. So I've nominated Director Heather Douglas. Director Heather Douglas is the most senior member of our board and has served on many different committees during her 6 years. She has a depth of knowledge that comes from both her tenure and broad experience, but also her background in child development. She has served across multiple superintendents, worked with many different school board members with unique perspectives, styles, and approaches. Director Douglas brings passion to the work we do. She thinks outside the box, and she brings candor to ask difficult but important questions. In meetings, Director Douglas frequently recognizes the contributions and ideas of other board members, builds upon them, and brings agreement to key decisions and decision-making. She uses this perspective of recognizing multiple viewpoints, specifically on her work in DPAC, on policy, and when she served on the 287 Joint Board. She's able to bring a full board perspective to her committees and the board work, while also sharing her individual perspective. This balance is critical to the role of vice chair, as the chair and vice chair engage in agenda-setting discussion and leadership input and guidance on behalf of the full board. For these reasons, I recommend Director Heather Douglas for vice chair.
Thank you. Are there any other statements?
Yeah, I'd like to make a statement in support of Director Jackie Mosqueda Jones for vice chair. Number one word I can think of with Jackie is the experience. She has the experience that we need in this district. 30 years of teaching, including the Osseo district, building relationships, getting to know the community, and doing the hard work of teaching every day. And I can't think of a better candidate for a leadership position on the board. In addition, our number one job, especially right now, is to hire a new superintendent. And I really think that we can really lean on Jackie's leadership and experience, as she's been through 2 superintendent searches, and that is our of primary importance right now. So I urge everyone to vote for Jackie Mosqueda Jones for vice chair.
Thank you. Director Douglas, do you have a statement?
Yes, thank you. I would just like to say I appreciate your consideration and your nomination for vice chair. I believe that what I bring to the table is a lot of experience. I am the most senior board member in our district. I've also been a part of 2 superintendent searches, and I've worked with superintendents and interim superintendents. I do come to the table with a open mind and an open heart. I try to value and look at each person's individual perspectives. I often will bring to the table questions that are not necessarily even my own, but questions that other people within our community may have. Sometimes I like to play a little bit of devil's advocate and ask questions that maybe even go against my own perceptions, because I want to see the full picture and I want to bring everyone together and make sure we're on the same page. I believe that I can do this job unbiased and in a way that is unifying to make sure that each board member's voice is heard and recognized and that we all have shared input in every action that we take. I've helped to develop policies and procedures. I've worked with every board member, well, actually I haven't worked with you except for today, but I've worked with each of you on different things and I've tried to see your perspective and be respectful and come to the table without assumptions, with with an assumption, good intent, that each of us is coming to the table with the same goal in mind. We are here to educate our scholars to the highest level, that we want excellence for all of our students, and I truly believe that when it comes down to it, even when we disagree, we fundamentally agree on the core concepts of what we are doing here. We may disagree on the path to get there, but I think that we can work through those things. But I believe that we truly all have one main goal, and that is excellence in academics for our students. And I want to really focus on that as board chair. One of my greatest frustrations as a board member is I feel like we have not moved fast enough on the work that we're doing. And I would like to influence that work to move at a faster pace so that we can really drive forward the work that we're doing that we've laid out so well. And we did that together. And I believe that I can continue to support that work together. So that's why I would like to be vice chair. So thank you, and I appreciate your nomination.
Thank you. And Director Mitchell, I forgot to ask if you wanted to say anything.
Yeah, I just would like to add, the reason that I'm nominating Director Douglas for the role of vice chair is that she has the most tenure of anyone on this board. She's the most senior with her 6 years of commitment and experience. Heather is very well-rounded with her different experiences on all the different committees, very committed. She always serves with the best interest of our students as her top priority. And I also believe in this role it's so important, the character of the individual. Heather's character makes her an excellent, trustworthy, and qualified leader. Heather is a person of integrity, fairness, and consistent service. She's very engaged in this community as a volunteer and invested in our district as a longtime resident in this community. And this is why I'm nominating Director Douglas. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Mitchell. I will not read my statement again, so I stand by my first statement of why I should be in a leadership position for the Osseo Area School District, and also to add that I have been a resident of Maple Grove since 1978, and I've worked for Osseo schools, and I worked for another school district for the last 13 years. And I believe that the wide, vast experience that I have in working at all levels of school districts is an invaluable asset. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask Sherry to take a roll call vote. Please state I vote for and the person that you vote for vice chair.
Director Simons,
I vote for Director Heather Douglas.
Director Mosqueda Jones,
I vote for Director Mosqueda Jones as vice chair.
Director Mitchell,
I vote for Director Heather Douglas.
Director Grady,
I vote for Director Jackie Mosqueda Jones.
Director Brooks,
I vote for Director Mosqueda Jones.
Director Douglas,
I vote for Director Heather Douglas.
There's 3 votes for Heather Douglas and 3 votes for Jackie Mosqueda Jones. It's a tie vote.
We'll follow the same process with a second and, if needed, third vote for vice chair. We'll now conduct a second vote on the office of vice chair. Nominated for vice chair are Director Heather Douglas and Director Mosqueda Jones. Board members, when your name is called, please state, "I vote for," and the name. Sherry, will you call another roll vote?
Director Mosqueda Jones,
I vote for Director Mosqueda Jones.
Director Grady,
I vote for Director Mosqueda Jones.
Director Douglas,
I vote for Director Heather Douglas.
Director Simons,
I vote for Director Heather Douglas.
Director Mitchell,
I vote for Director Heather Douglas.
Director Brooks.
I vote for Director Mosqueda Jones.
3 votes for Jackie Mosqueda Jones, 3 votes for Heather Douglas. It's a tie vote.
At the end of our meeting, we will also take a third vote for vice chair. Nominations are now in order for the office of board clerk. Are there any nominations for board clerk?
I would like to nominate myself, Director Tamara Grady, for board clerk.
Tamara Grady is nominated for board clerk. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other further nominations? Are there any further nominations for board clerk? Without objection, nominations are closed. Tamara Grady has been nominated. General counsel, do we still do a roll vote when there's just one person nominated?
Appointment by acclamation.
That's what okay. So there's an election by acclamation. There's only one nomination. So Tamara Grady is now board clerk. Has been elected then. Okay, nominations are now in order for the office of board treasurer. Are there any nominations for board treasurer? Any nominations for board treasurer? I would like to nominate Thomas Brooks for treasurer. Will you accept? Not accepting for board treasurer?
No.
Okay. General counsel. I can call 2 more times for
Yeah, you
nominations.
can call 2 more times. Someone can be nominated for an office. There's no process for necessarily declining the nomination, but the person would thereafter be able to decline the office on the election.
Okay.
Right? That makes sense. Obviously, Director Brooks has made his position rather clear with respect to being the treasurer, but notwithstanding that, the nomination would still stand.
Okay. So Director Brooks is nominated for treasurer. Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations for board treasurer? Are there any further nominations for board treasurer? So election by acclamation would make Director Brooks the treasurer, at which time I believe you can decline, correct?
I think that's correct.
Mr. Palmetier?
That is correct.
Could we recycle to the top of the vote and then come back to the treasurer as well?
It would be the board's discretion if they wish to do so.
If Director Brooks declines at this point, then we
I
would
think
have
there's a
to.
sense, without getting caught in the procedural aspects of all of this, it seems, at least on some level, reasonable to come back. Now, the nominations were closed. We would need to reopen nominations for the office. But if we came back to it at a later time, that would be reasonable, I think. That makes sense?
Okay, so we will go through the rest of the agenda, and then at the end of the agenda, or at the end, we will have a third vote for chair, a third vote for vice chair, and then at that time, someone can entertain a motion to open up a nominations for treasurer.
That makes sense, yes.
Okay. All right, the next agenda item is to establish compensation of school board members for 2023. Is there a motion to either change the compensation levels or to adopt the 2022 compensation levels as the 2023 levels?
I move to increase the ISD 279 school board compensation effective January 1st, 2023 to $1,300 per month for board chair and $1,200 per month for all other board members. This amount includes a $50 monthly incidental expense reimbursement stipend.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Heather Douglas, seconded by Thomas Brooks, to increase the ISD 279 school board compensation effective January 1st, 2023 to $1,300 per month for the board chair and $1,200 per month for all other board members, and the incidental expense reimbursement stipend shall be maintained at $50 a month. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I would just like to say that over the school board has not had an increase since 2016 in school board compensation, and at that time it was fairly minimal. And also in consistently looking at the surrounding school districts and similar school districts, this compensation rate is consistent with what other school districts are doing. And that's not even accounting for the cost of inflation or the increased workload that school board members have had over the last 6 years, which has more than doubled.
And I can verify that.
Yes.
We researched it. Any other discussion?
I do think that the work of the school board has increased as we've added committees and added events. And I know that most board members participate in many additional activities and events in the community. So I think that it seems reasonable to make this change.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Just in case. All right, the motion passes 6-0. The next agenda item is the consent agenda. Board members, are there any items that you would like to remove for separate consideration? Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Heather Douglas, seconded by Thomas Brooks to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? I would just like everyone to know that on the consent agenda are usual yearly things like which newspapers we announce in, etc. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. The motion passes 6-0. The next agenda item is to approve the school board committee and joint board representatives for 2023. Is there a motion to approve the school board representatives to committees and joint boards for 2023 as listed on the document titled Proposed 2023 School Board Committee and Joint Board Representatives?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Heather Douglas and seconded by Tamara Grady. Is there any discussion?
So one of the things that we've been discussing has been to improve some of the alignment of the committee work with our strategic planning timelines. So while we authorize these committees for the full year, I think that it's important that we come back before the end of the year and think about how we can continue to best utilize our committees going forward. So I would recommend that while we move forward with approving the committees on this calendar year basis, that we revisit this on the agenda before the start of the next school year, so that we can ensure that it's meeting the needs of the committee members and being aligned with the work that we're doing more real time.
Do you see that happening in a work session?
Do I see that happening? Yes, I would recommend and add that as a request for an agenda item for a work session.
Okay. Superintendent McIntyre, can you make a note of that?
Yeah, it could be either handled in a work session or a professional development. I think there's some PD that can happen around it first, so that there's some deeper understanding about the purpose of each committee. So I would recommend we start there, and then if there's changes, you can do that in a work session as a precursor. So I think that's reasonable request, especially with the changes to the board.
Okay, any other discussion?
I'd say we certainly have a lot of committees, and it seems like we're always adding new ones. I would like us to talk about this in a work session sooner than later, more so that we have a shared understanding of what the purpose of our committees, as Superintendent McIntyre just said. The last thing that I'd want us to do is evaluate how much we're getting out of our committees versus how effective we are at creating space for our community members to advise staff and board members on the issues and experiences they're facing on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to lose sight of that part of it, in lieu of some sort of quota or list of achievements that committee members have to do in a volunteer capacity.
I agree with Director Brooks.
Yeah, I would just like to add, I agree with your comments, Director Brooks. I also would like to add that one of the things that I would like to learn about is committees that are doing overlapping work, because I know that we have a little bit of that going on in some cases, and I'd like to evaluate that so that we're better utilizing the committees that we have.
Any other discussion? I would just like to add that we have many committees that are looking for members, so please spread the word and volunteer for a committee if you are able. We love having the community input. Thank you. All right. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. And the chair votes, acting chair votes aye. All right, there are two informational meeting items on this agenda. The school board operating protocols, consisting of the resolution protocol and the agenda setting protocol, is information for review and no action is to be taken at this time. Our other informational item is that, as a reminder, there will be a work session after this meeting, and that will be in the forum room here at the ESC and is open to the public. There will be a short recess in between the organizational meeting and the work session. At this time, I would like to call for a third vote for board chair. Director Tanya Simons and Director Jackie Mosqueda have been nominated for board chair. Board members, when your name is called, please state "I vote for," and the person, and Sherry, will you conduct our third roll call vote?
Director Mitchell,
I vote for Director Tanya Simons.
Director Douglas,
I vote for Director Tanya Simons.
Director Brooks,
I vote for Director Jackie Mosqueda Jones.
Director Mosqueda Jones,
I vote for Director Jackie Mosqueda Jones.
Director Simons,
I vote for Director Tanya Simons.
Director Grady.
I vote for Director Jackie Mosqueda Jones.
It's 3 votes for Tanya Simons and 3 votes for Jackie Mosqueda Jones. It's a tie vote.
Okay, and the procedure, if there's a tie vote, as acting chair, will continue to serve in that capacity, presiding until the deadlock for chair is broken. Election of chair will occur at subsequent meetings for as many meetings and votes that may be required until one candidate is elected. We'll now conduct a third vote to elect the board vice chair. Heather Douglas and Jackie Mosqueda Jones have been nominated for vice chair. Board members, when your name is called, please state "I vote for," and the person's name. Sherry, please conduct our third roll call vote.
Director Douglas,
I vote for Heather Douglas.
Director Brooks,
I vote for Director Mosqueda Jones.
Director Grady,
I vote for Director Jackie Mosqueda Jones.
Director Mitchell,
I vote for Director Heather Douglas.
Director Mosqueda Jones,
I vote for Director Mosqueda Jones.
Director Simons.
I vote for Director Heather Douglas.
It's 3 votes for Heather Douglas and 3 votes for Jackie Mosqueda Jones. It's a tie vote.
Election of vice chair will occur at subsequent meetings for as many meetings until, as many as the votes may be required until one candidate is elected. Pardon me. We'll now connect, now would be the time to entertain opening nominations for treasurer. A motion. All right, so that leads us to Director Brooks as treasurer, Tama Grady is board clerk, and we will vote for chair and vice chair at subsequent meetings.
Excuse me, point of clarification.
Mhm.
Does he have the opportunity to decline still?
Yes.
I would like to decline.
I think we can
Can
bring
we-
the nomination, the same vote back to the next meeting as well.
Yes. So we will be voting for chair, vice chair, and treasurer at the next meeting. Congratulations, Tamara Grady.
1 out of 4.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I do want to make a remark. This is not unprecedented. In, I think, 2006, we actually had a tie for the chair position. The only thing I would add is that under a different interpretation, under advice of counsel at that time, the board was required to stay here until we actually came up with a board chair. I don't read the rules that way. I do think that the rules indicate that the election of chair, clerk, and treasurer must be done as soon as practicable, and I do believe that holding a vote in a subsequent business meeting of the board would actually be consistent with that law. So,
Thank you for that clarification. Our last agenda item is adjournment. We will take 15-minute recess before convening for the work session. Do we have a motion to adjourn at 6:47 PM?
So moved.
Motion by Heather Douglas, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tanya Simons. All in favor say aye. I'm sorry, is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. I vote aye and it passes 6-0. The meeting is adjourned at 6:47 PM. 15 minutes, let's just say about 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock in the forum room.
Please. I don't know how we're gonna do these officers' signatures.
only do one.
We can only do
Can't do
one.
them yet.
Well, we can do one, is that